The following is a presentation of the IH Sports Network. You're listening to the Monday Night Roundtable. For the next 2 hours, we'll talk local high school sports with the voice of the Oneida Indians, Tim Smith.
10-5, touchdown, Indians.
Give me the corners, 2 scores, baby.
Give me the corners.
The voice of the Scott Highlanders, Rick Keaton.
Throw the ball, has a receiver long upfield, chasing it down. Made by Rylan Griffith. And he'll take it all the way to the end zone.
Produced by the IH Sports Network, the Roundtable begins now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Roundtable on the IH Sports Network. I'm Ben Garrett. To my left is the voice of the Oneida Indians, Tim Smith, and to my right, the voice of the Scott Highlanders, Rick Keaton. We are live tonight from the C. Michael A. Technology Center in Hellenwood. Thank you for being with us. We've got a full slate. We've got a lot to talk about. Lots of guests coming up. We were not here last week, so we're going to have a few extra guests on with us tonight. As always, we start off by talking about what happened Friday night. Unfortunately, a pair of losses for our teams on Friday night, but 2 outstanding football games. Probably could not have asked for better, more entertaining games. Here's a quick look at how it went down. So, we had the wrong one keyed up. We'll see if we can get to that, but while we're doing that, Tim Smith, Oneida, went down to Sweetwater, had a 12-0 lead going into the fourth quarter. Sweetwater comes from behind, a little bit of a breakdown for Oneida in the fourth quarter. Sweetwater gets a 22-19 win, and Rick, Scott High hosting a state-ranked top 5 team in the state of Meigs County, and also just a hair away from winning the final 23-17. I'm going to start with you. We'll let Tim sit on ice over here for just a minute. Because this was a region game, and quite frankly, and you looked at the scores, the predictions before the game from all the folks in the Knoxville market, nobody thought this game was going to be close. The guys in red, the guys in black, they certainly thought it was going to be close. They thought they were going to win the football game and really gave themselves a chance to do that.
They certainly had a regrouping effort from the previous week, the just horrible second half in the Kingston game, and they thought that they could play better football. So they changed the mindset, and they went about working, having a good week of practice, trying to do the things that they knew would keep them in the game. And they knew that Meigs County shortens the game. They'll take 10, 12, 15, 20 plays on each possession if possible, and the Highlanders were able to get a couple of stops. I think we had actually 2 possessions in the second half. They had 2 possessions, and they actually had a third. That was the end of the game. But anyway, the guys came out and played, I thought, real well. And I still say this today. I've had the whole weekend to reflect on it. I thought our defense played dadgum outstanding, considering the type of smash-mouth football that Meigs likes to employ in their offense. Evidenced by that, our linebackers, you mentioned it during the game, but something like, let's start with Desmond Boland, 11 tackles. He's usually up there in tackles. Jesse Jeffers, 13 tackles. And then Braden Birchfield, 16 tackles in the game. So our linebackers did a great job in that game, pursuing the ball, getting to the ball. The line, we got leaned on a little bit, but we did give up some yardage, no doubt about it. But anyway, like I said, I thought we played well enough, and you take out this event or that event that might have cost us a score in the first half, may have cost us a score in the second half, and you just break it down in bits and pieces of the game to see where we could have been, what we could have done differently. That long, I was talking with Greg about a while, that long, whatever it was, 12-minute delay, changing quarters, that we were driving, probably had a little momentum going our way, and then that delay, was it third down, was it fourth down, that the officials finally got right, but there's a big delay, and if Coach Hall had rhythm going, calling his plays, and our team had some rhythm going, I think that cost us deeply at that point right there. We were definitely driving inside the Meigs 20-yard line. Sometimes it's when you lose those opportunities, and we lost that opportunity. Should we have done something better in the first half? Should we have done something better in the second half? Well, we had 2 touchdowns in the first half. We actually led that game 14-8 in the first half, and it was a 15-14 game at halftime. So, I mean, that's how close it was. And if you take away, and I'm going to say this is hypothetical, of course, but Meigs ran two 2-point extra tries that with a modified what do they call it, swinging gate formation there, where they had them on the left, they had them on the right, they still kept a couple in the middle. You know, if we could have stopped both of those, it'd just been a 2-point difference in the game. I mean, so you got to look beyond sometimes exactly what happened, but I thought the defense for the second straight game, just because the score in Kingston was sort of out of reach, but for 2 straight games, I thought the defense has stood up, played as hard as they could, and finding the rhythm and the offense scoring enough points to defeat a region opponent has been tough.
So I think I probably know what happened. That is, I probably sent Greg Bond the wrong clip. Okay, so we've got that clip keyed up. So let's go ahead and take a look at it.
Field goal attempt from the right hash here to try to get on the board first for the Indians. Trying to capitalize on the turnover. The kick from Amarian is on the way, and this kick is good.
Have some urgency here on this punt. You got to get it away.
Jeremiah Paris deep to return. High snap. Gilbert gets it, and now Paris running to his right at the 10.
Good
he
punt.
sees it roll, and Onata's going to stop it at the 1.
Good pursuit down the field.
Under center with a split backfield. Turns and gears.
Whoa! There it
In the
is!
Backfield, and it's a safety.
I believe it was the same play call on, guys.
And this is Ryan taking the snap, gives to Gilbert through the middle. He's down to the 35-yard line, cuts out to the left, to the 30, to the 20, to the 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Ben Gilbert. No flags from the 15-yard line with 3:18 to play. Ryan looking left, stepping back, a little bit of pressure. Now he's flush. Now he dumps it off to Drayton Wade. He's down to the 10, down to the 5, and into the end zone.
Yep.
Touchdown, Indians. I didn't see the signal initially, but
And we'll keep a tight end on the right side. Privet again with a keeper, cut, and that time he had to be in. Yes, so saith the official on the near side.
Put it in end zone. Put it in end zone.
Lynch
Onside.
with the
Got it.
onside pick, and the Highlanders pick it up. That's Lynch with the ball, isn't it? Trying to pick up extra yardage down to about the 44-yard line. Even though he might have fumbled, we still get the ball.
How about that?
Right, Birchfield.
Gutsy play call right there by Coach Billy Hall.
That is a great job by Justin. He run right up and saw that thing. They practice that. They practice that.
Again, the ball at the 23-yard line of Meigs County. We go trips to the right. Bond, the running back, to the right-hand side of Privet. Privet turns, draw, comes back to Bond. Bond has a nice break, headed in the 5. The 10 steps out of the tackle, touchdown. Michael Bond, 22 yards.
Way to block offensive line.
Oh, boy. The placement, Lucas Newport, he's been doing it since his freshman year. The kick, Justin Lynch, and that's plenty good from here. Yes.
No doubt about it. So let's let Tim sit here and Stu just 30 more seconds.
I'm good.
So
Whatever you
I
want.
said Friday night I felt like there were 3 plays that game come down to. At the end of the first half, you had a drop on 4th and 2. Scott High,
Yes.
collectively, they just don't drop passes this year.
Correct.
On that particular play, he's probably looking to see what kind of room he had in front of him.
Michael Bond.
He had a lot of room. Well, I wasn't going to say his name.
Oh.
But he had a lot of room
He
in
knows
front
it.
of him. It would have at least led to a field goal. Maybe led to a touchdown. Could have had to lead at halftime. Then in the second half, you have a 2nd and goal from the 1. You wind up having to settle for 3. Now, in the end, that one didn't matter as much. But then, of course, the big one, 3rd and 20 for Meigs County from the 5-yard line. They hit the 37-yard pass play just right down the seam. It was a great play by Meigs County. I feel like if they had not converted right there, Scott High, probably the way they were moving the football, they probably win the football game.
We could have gotten pretty good field position, we think. Maybe the 50s, 10 yards either side of midfield that time. And, and you just wait to see what happened. But the Meigs receiver made a good catch. We had 2 defenders in position. I think if either one of them had thrown this arm up or that arm up, might have been able to deflect the ball. And certainly, football comes down to a lot of luck, and one play here and one play there, and it makes all the difference in the final score.
Yeah, just a fantastic effort. There are no such thing as moral victories in region play. There aren't, because now Scott High no longer controls their own destiny in the playoff
Right.
race and all that.
Right.
But you can't talk about that game without talking about what a tremendous effort it was by the Highlanders. Tim Smith, if you'd have told me when Bill Gilbert cuts back across the green, goes 42 yards for a touchdown, that Oneida was not going to win that football game, there's no way I would have believed that. But give Sweetwater credit because they responded against all that adversity with a huge drive to put themselves back in position, and then a couple of turnovers later, totally different ball game.
Yeah, I mean, really, it felt like a totally different ball game up until Oneida got that punt. I mean, that ball game until Oneida got the punt down on the one that you saw in that highlight, it was such a defensive battle back and forth. We had that field goal lead, and it looked like we were going to stay conservative. We were comfortable with where we were. Sweetwater was staying conservative. They were within 3. They I guess thought if we need to, we'll roll something out, and then, like you say, credit them because we get that safety on them, go up 5-0. They have to kick to us with a short field, and Ben runs that touchdown. It is 10 seconds to go in the third quarter, and we're up 12-0. And in how that game had gone to that point, that looked like it may as well be 1,000,000-0. Right. And then Sweetwater comes out, and they start effectively passing, working their way down the field. I'm sure Oneida's defense changed their philosophy a little bit, just with a 2-score lead. They were just trying to protect on that first drive against a big play and make them take some time. They did take their time, went down the field, scored, and then they kick off to us. And the first play, the ball's on the ground. Not only on the ground, they pick it up and run it in and kick the extra point, and they lead for the first time by 2. The Indians take the ensuing kickoff, first play, again, right on the ground. And Sweetwater gets 3 points out of it. So you saw in that highlight, it goes from Oneida up 10-0 with 10 seconds to go in the third quarter to down 22-12. We're working our way down the field, and we do get the score. Oneida responded, did a nice job driving down the field and getting the touchdown they needed. They just couldn't come up with that late stop that they needed against Meigs County, and penalties are something that Coach May talked about. In the first half, we had a good drive going, got into Sweetwater territory in the second quarter, and we had 3 consecutive holding penalties to move us back to midfield and kind of destroyed that drive. And we just went into halftime with a 3-0 lead. But you think at the time, in a game like that, everything's going to be magnified. And it was. You got those penalties are now magnified. When you lose, everything you go back and you do the autopsy on the penalties, the fumbles, the missed opportunities. Did I play this right philosophically, defensively, offensively? All those things come to play. The nice part about it for the Indians is it wasn't a region game. But the bad part about it is now you've got to come off of that tough loss and you've got to respond. And you're getting ready to play a team that controls its destiny. We do too. Oneida controls its destiny in the region. Polk County controls its destiny in the region, but you've got a Polk County team that's coming off a big win and coming in to Oneida for senior night. And a lot of, I thought it was going to be possibly Oneida and Eagleton for a region championship at Eagleton in the last week. And after watching Polk County and what they did to Eagleton, now it becomes Polk County. If they get this one, it looks like Tellico's down a little bit, and they're kind of playing for a region championship too. So we'll see what happens. Oneida would still have to finish off with Eagleton, but everything they wanted is still right there in front of them coming this Friday night. And that's the task for the coaches is to flush that loss. We've seen it with both teams this year. They have a bad loss. The coaches have to forget last week. We got this week. So if the Indian coaching staff and players can find a way to get rid of that, understand that it didn't mean anything in your destiny as far as a region championship. You control your destiny starting here tonight. It's going to be a great Friday night, great senior night, hopefully.
So far, Oneida has done a great job this year of responding when they coming off of tough losses. Of course, different circumstances, but they responded really well. So, and with that defense, obviously, you're never counting Oneida out of anything. Right. And that's the other thing about that game on Friday night. Until that first drive of the fourth quarter, Sweetwater hadn't even sniffed the end zone. They had never mounted a threat to score of any kind. And that defense from Oneida is the real deal.
Still just surrendered one touchdown, right? And then gave up a field goal that was already on your side of the 50. So yeah, nothing to hang your head about defensively on that. Even though I know Coach Martin, and he would say, no, we should have got that stop to give us a shot at the end. No, we should have done this and that. But yeah, the defense is going to be key. And that game the other night, Oneida possessed the football for 11 and a half minutes in the third quarter.
Wow.
And Polk County, that's what they want to do. So I was just saying, who knows? We may be out of there in an hour and a half Friday night with those two teams.
All right, we're going to talk more about these games that are coming up Friday night and what they mean. Sky High's outside the region this week, but there is a huge game that they'll be keeping an eye on as well. The players and coaches won't be keeping an eye on it until after the fact.
We will.
We certainly will. All right, much more to come. We will talk Sky High football on the other side of the break. Welcome back to the Roundtable on the IH Sports Network, coming to you live tonight from the C. Michael Lay Technology Center in Helenwood, and we're going to start things off this week by running it back a little bit. We weren't here last week, and so we didn't have the opportunity to have these two fellas on, but we do now. This is backing up to the Kingston game. Of course, we won't talk about that because who wants to talk about that Kingston game? But our player of the game, First National Bank player of the game from the Kingston game was senior defensive back Micah Bowles, and our lineman of the game from the Kingston game was Eli Kidd, also a senior. And Rick, both of these guys had fantastic games on a night where a whole lot didn't go well.
Oh, they certainly did. And, we got to halftime, and then after that, the second half blew up in that Kingston game, and we can't go back, I don't think. Last Monday night, prior to the girls' soccer game, I dropped down to the locker room. I was talking with a couple of guys down there, and Gus asked me point blank, said, how did we play? What did you think about Friday night? And I said, well, the first thing I want to tell you, I thought the defense played well enough that if stuff had happened on the other side of the ball, it could have been a closer game and maybe a win for the Highlanders. Then we fast forward to last Friday night, and guess what, guys? I thought the defense, again, played another excellent game. And let's talk about – I'm not going to talk about Kingston anymore unless you want to. I want to talk about Meigs County. I want to talk about the difference from one Friday night to the next. I want to talk to these seniors about what did the seniors think over the weekend, and then last Monday, how did you start preparing for Meigs County? Eli, I want to go first to you.
Oh, well, you're talking about like Kingston and Meigs.
Yeah. We just put Kingston behind us. I want to talk about how the team prepared for Meigs County.
Well, I watched a lot of film on that Kingston game, and then just come in Monday and watch more film on them, and then watch the Kingston game over, watched Meigs again, and then just kind of focused on keying up 5 and 7 all week, and yeah, just coming to practice.
They were the two threats for Meigs, the 5 the quarterback and 7 the running back, or vice versa, however they done that. And so the idea was to stop those two.
Yeah, it was.
And you play very little defense. You're the offensive left tackle, but you play a lot of defense. Mm-hmm. Talk about the mindset of the group back there. First of all, you've got yourself at the free. You got Keegan, you got Carter Slavin, and then you probably got Chainsaw playing back there with you.
Who's that? Oh, Brett.
Yeah, Brett.
You
Brett
don't
Hall.
know Chainsaw Brett Hall?
Oh, yeah.
He's a celebrity.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. Talk about how you guys had to prepare for Meigs County, because they run, and that means you guys got to be there to control the edge and come up and support.
Yeah, we're like the run support for the defense, and especially playing teams like that. And we're all older except Carter, but we're like still helping him and everything. We're coaching him up and during practice, just getting him ready. But we're also getting ready too by being able to stop those big running backs and quarterbacks.
It's a challenge to 150-pound free safety coming up and take on that 225-pound running back.
Yeah.
And he got to you a couple of times, I noticed in the game.
Yeah, he did.
So what was your philosophy? Low, high, however you could get him down?
Yeah, I usually cut tackle the big running backs and quarterbacks and receivers and whatever. But I don't know. I just feel like I couldn't tackle as good as I usually did.
And I mentioned it right before you guys came in. The linebackers, I thought, done an outstanding job the other night.
Yeah.
Together, they total like 40 tackles in the game. So what's it like that you've got, Micah, that you've got 3 pretty good linebackers in front of you each and every night?
It's a big relief not having to, tackle or have the opportunity or chance to like get a tackle every single play.
Mhm.
But I like having, I guess, a break because I know that they're gonna slow him down or at least tackle him before they get to, I guess, the secondary.
Eli, did you play any on defense the other
Yeah,
night?
I
You
did.
didn't you?
Yeah.
What's it like? I mean, up until the last couple of games when we just needed bigger size on the defensive line, what's it like now when you got to play every snap on offense and then you got to put a few plays in on defense, conditioning-wise, and how you're prepared for that role?
It's tiring. Earlier in the season, I was really gassed, but towards the end of the year, I've been okay with it, not as gassed as I was.
With yourself and with Mason Llewellyn, he spends a lot of time on the defensive line. I'll just call him out. You guys have to play both roles, offense all the time and over on defense. Talk about what it is to try to get this defensive tackle rotation going.
Well, it's just there's normally about 3 or 4 of us. There's the offense that plays offense and defense, me and Caleb and Mason, and then just Kennick's part, and he just plays defense. But normally it's just me, Caleb, and Mason rotating at D-tackle just all throughout the game.
Do you have a preference, offense, defense?
Offense.
Offense? Of course, that's what you've played. I guess you've been a 3-year starter?
Yeah.
3-year starter at the left tackle the whole time. Okay. What about that defensive front? Because I think we've got 2 really good ends most of the time. Braxton Potter and you've got Houston Stanley on the other side. Those guys got pretty good motors to get upfield, do they not?
Yeah, they do. They have really good motors.
Is Braxton's goal to get to the quarterback each and every play?
I'm not 100%. You have to ask him.
Have to ask him. I'll do that sometime. It just seems like he goes with a different motor there like that. And I'll ask Houston a little later about that because he'll be on there. We were so close to Meigs County. Maybe a field goal here, a touchdown there. If we played them again, is it possible that we could put forth the same effort and have a little better outcome?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How about you, Eli?
Yeah, it's possible.
Now the $1 million question: if we play Kingston again?
Yeah, if we played Kingston again like we did Friday night, I think we'd beat them.
I believe I said that after the game. Their effort against Meigs was good enough that would have kept us in the game against Kingston. I'm pretty sure about that. We're not jumping ahead on games or anything like that, but you've got Wartburg this week, non-region game. Quick rundown on what Wartburg does.
I don't know. I think they run a lot.
Yeah, they're a run-heavy team.
Obviously, you watch more video than Micah does.
Yeah,
they're a run-heavy team, and they're like a 4-2 on defense. I think that's really all I know.
I asked somebody a couple of weeks ago, who watches the most film? It's not film anymore. Who watches the most video of our opponents on our team?
Desmond.
Yeah, Desmond.
He gets that nod from everybody. Does he walk around bragging about it? How do you know he watches that much video?
He talks about it all the time. He just knows everything. He knows it.
Yeah.
And he does talk about it
all the time.
I hope we have him on the round table before this year's over with one more time. He would be something else there like that. But you've got 2 more games left, seniors. Suddenly, I began to feel this season has really gone by fast. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, it's flew by. It really seemed like yesterday was week 1, and now it's, week 8, week 10, week 9?
Week 9?
Yeah.
I guess we were back in August. Seems like just 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
How about you as another senior, Michael?
I think since we're winning a lot more, it makes it like funner, and when you're having fun, time flies by. So,
15 seniors on the team. Anyone or more that you want to give a big shout out to? They don't have to be your best buds, but just give a shout out to some of them.
I give shout out Big Birch, Braden Birchfield.
Braden Birchfield? 16 tackles the other night.
Probably Wyatt.
Wyatt Lloyd?
Yeah.
Is that because he's sitting back there?
No.
Okay. I just wanted to check that out just to be sure. But he's pointing at you or me one back from back there, so I don't know. But they're the seniors. Massive senior class. And from everything I know, a good bunch of leaders, but a tight bunch of players. Not just as seniors, but it seems like the whole football team is very tight, very focused each and every week. Am I wrong? You You don't have to be afraid to hold back.
No.
But it is a tight group.
Yeah.
And a fun group to be playing with.
Fun group.
It's a fun group. You guys have a lot of fun in practice. I think it's last Wednesday or Thursday. The defense was challenging the offense and seeing who could do the biggest pow, pow, pow chant, I think, out there the other night. But it is fun, right?
It's awesome.
Okay. Good deal. Appreciate you guys being here. And from the Kingston game, most valuable player and lineman of the game.
You got anything, Tim?
Well, I watched the Kingston game from a distance, but I mean, up to halftime, it was the tight game, and then it just kind of spiraled out of control. And I just want to know, Eli, mentally, after the bad 2 quarters, how did you yourself, or did somebody, did the coach do it, or what convinced you that you could bounce back and compete with a state-ranked Meigs County team after the rough 2 quarters?
Just watching them on film and then just seeing ourselves. We lost, like Hayden Mason got ejected. That really killed our run game. But then we got Houston Stanley put it in the guard for Meigs, and he really just helped us open up the run game.
Michael, what about you? Is there another player that builds you up and convinces you, hey, flush that, we're ready to do something else? Is it a coach? What brought you to the mental edge to be able to go out there and do what you all did toe-to-toe with Meigs County?
The player, Keegan Bolin, and the coach, Mason Owens.
Is there any certain thing they do, or is it just
hype me up?
just hype you up?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm always amazed at the mental part of that, how things can be low and then you bounce back. I think it's important. Good teams are able to bounce back.
Does Keegan and do you guys challenge each other quite a bit?
Yeah.
I see that a
All
lot
the
in
time.
practice, all the time. And it's good to have a buddy out there and you guys are supporting each other like that. Yeah.
So I told your dad, Daryl Bowles, everybody knows Daryl, I told him before the game Friday night, I said, if anybody had told me 3 years ago that skinny little baseball player was going to be, was going to be, I don't want to say I don't want to say anybody is the most valuable player because the linebackers are all playing great, the defensive ends are playing, everybody's playing great on defense. But one of the most valuable players, I mean, you have taken that free safety position and made it your own. You play it like a free safety. I mean, you are a prototypical free safety now. And I don't know if I saw that coming 3 years ago. Am I wrong? Did you see it coming 3 years ago?
No.
How did you get to this spot?
I guess training a lot, staying after practice and over the summer. Like we would do stuff all the time.
So you're no longer the baseball player. Now you're Michael Bowles, the free safety. And I hope you're going to leave just as big a mark in the spring on the diamond. Yeah. But, I mean, a heck of a season you're having. Mm-hmm. So, all right, and Eli, before we go to break, how about you give us an update on your cousin, Emma Hewitt?
She's doing good. She's cancer-free as of a couple weeks ago. She's doing great. Our birthday party is actually Saturday, so cool. I'll be there.
So any update, any timeline on when she'll be able to get back in school and that sort of thing?
I think somebody told me it'd be after the first of the year.
Okay.
Sometime. I'm not exactly sure, though.
Okay. All right. That's our lineman of the game from the Kingston game, Eli Kidd, Trophy Masters lineman of the game, and our First National Bank player of the game, Michael Bowles. We're going to seesaw back and forth tonight between Oneida and Scott High. After this break, we'll talk Oneida football. Welcome back to the Roundtable on the IH Sports Network. We are live from the C. Michael Lake Technology Center in Helenwood. That's Tim Smith. That's Rick Keaton. I'm Ben Garrett. And now we're joined by our superlatives from the Oneida Sweetwater game on Friday night. We've got our Trophy Masters lineman of the game, Reese Lamb, for the second time this season. Reese Lamb named lineman of the game. And also for the second time this season, Grady Keaton is our First National Bank player of the game. And Tim, I was putting Grady's accolades from Friday night on the social media post that we made late Friday night. And I guess I'm going to say it was because it was so late at night. I didn't put what was probably his biggest play of the game. Certainly the kickoff return was big. The catches were big. But hustling down the field and downing that punt at the 1 yard line, I just completely neglected to even mention that. So, Grady, my apologies.
No problem. No problem.
And that was our play of the game. It's what kind of looked like it. Grady gave Oneida the momentum that was going to be needed to just polish off Sweetwater. We had played those most of 3 quarters, and we had the field goal, and it looked like it was pretty safe. Both teams were playing it pretty safe, maybe going to try to spring something late. But then being made that punt. You got down there and downed it, and then we come up with the safety. Now, I didn't play. Okay, I'm there with guys that played, but the announcer in me thought the way this thing's been going, that's enough probably.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. I remember looking at the fans in the stands just going crazy after that safety, and I was like, we got this one sealed.
And then we got the kickoff, and Ben runs it into the end zone, and I really thought, no.
I was like, no way.
You know, what's the ESPN, you know, that little meter that shows the percentage of a probability of a win? I don't know what it would have been, but it was huge. Talk about that next drive, Sweetwater, and the philosophy while we were working against the Wildcats. They really hadn't put it in the air much at all that night, but they started to take some just small chunks.
Well, it looked like they started spreading it out more in the fourth quarter. That started working for them a little bit better, but, I mean, I think they only had 30 rushing yards total.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they went like a trip set, and that was probably their best set. And they were kind of got a good yards out of that set and just started pushing it down the field, and they got that first touchdown. So that really worked well for them.
Reese, talk about that third quarter, it was dominated by the Indians. I mean, you had the football on one drive for almost 11 and a half minutes, working your way down the field. Talk about, as an offensive lineman, how that felt to just kind of constantly keep getting the first downs and moving the chains.
It felt good having, time of possession be that long, even just in one quarter too. It's great having that ball that much time.
Mm-hmm.
You think you have it, and it just anything can happen in a couple minutes. It just really sucks.
Yeah, normally it's one of those things that coaches, especially these days. I don't know that when I first started calling games a few years back that people were keeping up with who ran the most number of plays or things like that. But certainly time of possession always was something that was a big deal. But talk about when we got that 12-0 lead. Did you feel like, oh yeah, this one's pretty well there?
Yeah, I was in when we got that safety, and coming off that field with that safety, everybody was excited, and and then after the touchdown, it was even better. It felt like we had it right there, and I felt like even if we just kept those 12 points that we had, I think we could have had that game.
So, and we'll get to the mentality part of it here in just a minute. I want to talk about, but let's now fast forward. They have the drive, mistakes are made, and we find ourselves now down 10 to Sweetwater, 22-12. Grady, and they kick to you, and you get a big kick return. Talk about how that was set up and what you were thinking as that ball was coming your way.
I was honestly, I ain't gonna lie, I was gassed, but I was just telling myself, I got to make a play here and try to get us in good field position. And he was a good kicker. That ball felt like it was in the air for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So it was just, but I just got it and just tried to make one cut and run down the sideline as fast as I could.
So you get us up to midfield and give us a shot. There's still a good amount of time on the clock. Reese, talk about that drive, and it caps off with a touchdown pass to Drayton Wade.
Seeing it, seeing it was beautiful because we were, throwing the hitches, getting out, getting time. Time was on our side, and then right over the middle, Drayton Wade into the end zone. It felt like we got through it quick, and I knew that if we got this ball back, we could do the same thing.
All right, so there was the key. You were going to have to give them the football back, and really, whether you kick deep or whether you kick on sides, which the Indians chose to kick on sides, the gamble was you had to be able to stop them and have some time on the clock. So talk about that effort to try to stop Sweetwater and get the ball back.
Well, I felt like we did a good job at first. They really didn't do anything the entire game. As far as running the ball, they really didn't even have a good offensive game statistically. But, we held them. I think it was like third down when they got that face mask,
mm-hmm.
and that gave them that first down. So they just, I think, need it right after that first down.
And that was a tough penalty. Now, when I watched it, just to the naked eyes, I watched it, it didn't look like, sometimes you'll see a face mask that is somebody, they're just carelessly grabbing a face mask. To me, it looked like that particular face mask, he was just trying to get him and get him down. I didn't see any malice in that. But, Reese, let's go back to there was a series at the end of the first half where we had consecutive holding penalties where it looked like we were going in and then we moved backwards because of that.
Yeah.
So those penalties, when you lose, you look back on all these little moments. Talk about that.
Ended up, we had the first down. We ended up getting 3rd and 36 or something like that. I mean, it really hurts you. You know, you can't really do much with that kind of field position.
Yeah.
Going from across half field down to, it was like the 30 or the 40.
Yeah.
And it just can't do much.
And it's one of those things that if you win, you know, you kind of push it to the back. But when you lose, every single one of these things, it adds up and you start thinking about them. So now the mental part, and I'm going to start with Grady on this one. Coming back from that, as disappointing as that was, it's not it doesn't carry the importance that this week does. You've got a Polk County team that, this is my opinion, okay? Watching early in the year, I thought, oh, they may be the 4th best team in this region just from watching scores and watching things that go on. And now they're coming in Friday night and they're looking like the best team in the region, given their performance against Eagleton this past Friday. So you played Polk a couple of years. Talk about Polk County and what it's going to take to get to get past the mental loss of Sweetwater and to get a win against Polk County.
We got to stop their running back. He's a tough runner. I mean, I think they're a heavy run. They hardly ever throw it, and we just got done watching film. They just kind of, mashed Eagleton. They just ran it every down. Just Eagleton really didn't have no answer. They were up 23-0. I think was at halftime for 17-0. So they were up really quick, and I think if we stop that, and I mean we played a good defensive game against Sweetwater.
Right.
Just mistakes got us, but I think if we can get our offense going, score some points, and just play like we have been on defense, I think we'll be fun.
Reese, the challenge, if they're mashing on people, you're one of the people they're going to want to mash on. How do you counter that?
I mean, I just mash them back, It's what you got to do. It's big on big, best on best. You just got to attack them same way they're attacking you, and try your best to get through that line, get the tackle, get on somebody, plug up a gap. Just let the linebackers do it. Just help in any way you can.
Are they big with misdirection, or are they just going to come right at you?
They run buck a little bit, but from what I've seen, it's mostly like bob and powers and stuff like that. So
they're just going to try to make you stop them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So penalties in a situation like that. Talk about what a penalty can do, and likewise, if you're good enough to cause them to hold you, that can blow up their whole drive if they're run heavy, right?
Yeah.
So how do we stay penalty free?
I think we just need to be more disciplined than what we have been. Especially some of those holding penalties, we didn't even need them. Like plays already all the way down the field, we get those holding penalties about 5 yards down the field. It really sucks. We just need to understand the situation and perform better.
And it doesn't even matter, because I'm thinking of a couple on that particular drive that, I mean, I've seen it happen every play and a flag doesn't get thrown. But, I mean, it's just you got to go over and above to be clean on this one, right? Mm-hmm. Grady, Micah Bowles was on this last segment. You're back there at safety. To me, that is such a to me it would be intimidating. To you guys, you seem like you thrive on it. It's if you don't get them, they're probably gone a lot of times on a play. So what is it? Do you feel pressure every play, or do you just feel like it's an opportunity?
A little bit of pressure. I feel a little bit of pressure at each spot, offense too, but I usually just take it as an opportunity. I played corner against Sweetwater. They had me on number 2, just man-to-man the entire game, and I liked that. I enjoyed just lining up in front of somebody and just following him wherever he goes, and that's my one assignment. I like that.
Because he was their top option, going in. So now so Friday night we got Polk County coming in, and offensively, how do you attack them?
I think just throwing the ball. I think Eagleton found something in the second half. Like I said, Polk was up 23-0 at halftime, didn't score the rest of the game. And Eagleton their pass game started working. We got to be able to run the ball too, but I think we could throw it on this team if we could find some things that start working.
All right. What do you think, Reese? What's the key to offensively scoring more points?
I think passing the ball will work quite a bit. They run 3-3 stack. Sometimes they run a 4-4 stack, and when they're in that 3-3 stack, I think passing the ball is probably the best option we have. But running the ball does work as well. We need to get that going, make sure we can actually use it.
All right. I know these guys got some questions. I know Ben's is going to be about college football, so be ready for that.
I was really going to ask both of you, how important do you feel it is to score first, get on the scoreboard first? And does that put pressure back on, in this case, Polk County this week?
Yeah, I think it's really important, not just for offense, but for defense too. I feel like that gets defense fired up to go out there and play harder, and I think it's both defensively and offensively a good thing.
Okay.
I think the same thing. I mean, being able to get on the scoreboard first and being able to look up, seeing you're in the lead, it makes you feel like, you really have something on them.
Y'all had the safety the other night. Touchdowns get a lot of attention, a lot of celebration. But what I've noticed this season, safeties also get a lot of celebration from the team. Does that feel good when your teammates, you've got that safety, and suddenly we get to 2 points, we're getting a free kick?
Yes.
You'd like to have more of those, I guess.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
So I wasn't going to talk about college football, but since Tim brought it up, on a scale of 1 to 10, how hot is Coach Stoops' seat right now in UK?
Very.
He's like 9.
I think he has the second longest losing streak for an SEC coach, or losing to SEC schools.
So maybe a 10. We've seen a couple of SEC coaches fired already. You think he could be the next one?
Mississippi State has the longest, but I think it is pretty hot right now.
Well, so I asked that to ask a follow-up question. If he wins Saturday night, where does that number stand? It goes way down, right?
It goes way down. Yeah, definitely.
What would it be if he wins Saturday night, Tim Smith?
It doesn't matter. He's not going to win Saturday night.
Oh, that's a bold prediction.
Reese knows I'm right. Reese is ready to get rid of him right now.
I'll plead the fifth.
Plead the fifth. There you go.
Yeah.
Grady Keaton, things come full circle. Back in high school, your dad was a phenomenal basketball player that was kind of a late bloomer when it came to football. I feel like same is true with you. Obviously, we know about Grady Keaton, a basketball player, and all of a sudden here you are as a pretty doggone good football player. Now, your dad was a kicker, not a receiver and a safety, so there are differences there. But so where did growing up, go back to like, 4th, 5th grade, did you think I'm going to play football down the road, or was it all basketball, and where did the decision to play football come from?
I definitely thought I was going to play football because all my friends – the only thing I remember about elementary school was just playing recess football, and we all loved it. And I was like, yeah, I'm definitely going to play this later in life because I really had fun with it. So.
Okay. And so I asked that because this just my curiosity. I wondered, so Coach Rusty Yaden at Sky High, he texted me all during the soccer season, wanted to know how the soccer games was going, and I knew what he was wanting to know, and that is, are my key players staying injury-free in the soccer games? Did Coach King get a little nervous on Friday nights?
Yeah, he'll call me and text me just, asking how I'm doing, He'll say I need to get in the gym sometime and asking if I'm feeling good, if I'm staying injury-free. I think actually my knee injury in the spring, he called me like immediately and was like, you didn't tell me, and all this. And he's worried to death, but yeah.
Of course, Jacob King is not uptight. He didn't worry.
I mean, he's on as hot a seat as Bob Stoops if he don't bring home a title this year. I know that. So
could be interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Grady Keaton, our first National Bank player of the game, and Reese Lamb, our Trophy Masters lineman of the game. Good luck, guys, this week in a big game against Polk County. We're going to take another break. When we come back on the other side, we'll flip it back to Scott High football. Welcome back to the roundtable on the IH Sports Network. Tim Smith, Rick Keaton, Ben Garrett, Justin Lynch, our first National Bank player of the game from Friday night's game against Sweetwater as we flip back to Scott High, and Houston Stanley, our Trophy Masters lineman of the game. Rick Keaton, both of these guys outstanding games on Friday night. Scott High was down a player, of course. They had the ejection against Kingston, short an offensive lineman. Houston Stanley's been having a great season at defensive end. He had to slide into that offensive guard position. I think he passed the test, don't you?
I think he passed the test. I talked with the coaches. They think he passed the test too.
And meanwhile, the guy to my left, he has hit some big field goals this season, but Friday night I felt like kind of a breakout game for Justin Lynch and all the different things that he did. And, of course, the biggest thing was the onside kick and recovery.
You just have to go to practice sometimes and watch Justin. All he does is kick the ball. Matter of fact, I think Coach Hall told him he needed to tone it down a little bit, and instead of 60 kicks a day, tone it back to 25, right?
Yep.
And he was wearing himself out. He was kicking the ball so much. But I want to start with Houston. Played a little bit offensively as a tight end earlier on in the season. And I don't know that it was a sacrifice, but you were asked to move inside and play the left guard position Friday night against Meigs County. I'm not sure that you practiced on the line any at all until this past week.
Nope.
How big a surprise was that to you, and what did you think? I can or I cannot do this?
I mean, I knew I could. I just didn't want to.
There you go.
At least you're honest.
Did Big Brother have an influence on saying, hey, you can do it?
Not really.
Okay. I thought the older lineman might have had some influence there. How tiring was it? Because you played every down offensively, and you played not every down defensively, but you played most of them defensively. How tiring was that going both ways?
It was bad. It was rough. I'm just not used to it no more.
We get that from a lot of players. Desmond told us that a couple of weeks ago when he played a lot on offense. And getting that game out of the way, you think conditioning is a little bit better this week heading into the Wartburg game?
Yeah.
Okay. I nicknamed you the kicking specialist. Tell us about the onside kick and what your goal was, and it was your goal to recover the onside kick.
Yeah, it always is.
It always is. That's if we see an onside kick out of you, it's going to go down the middle, and you're going to go run alongside the ball to get to it.
Yeah, unless it's going to like the left or right, then down the middle, yeah, I'm trying to get it.
The other question we've been discussing a little bit off the air, of course, has to do with Justin Lynch and the leg. You kick on your kickoffs very high, very deep, 5-yard line. And before the game last week, we were talking about, wouldn't it be nice if Justin can just drive the ball into the end zone for the touchback? Have you been working on that?
Yeah.
And will we see that more?
Yeah, I'm going to try to, yeah.
Okay. You've had several opportunities to kick field goals. Most of the time, I don't keep up with your accuracy rate, but you've probably only missed one field goal on the year or two.
I'd say about 2 or 3, yeah.
Okay. Thinking as you prepared for the Meigs game last week, what did Coach Hall say? Did he say you'll have a chance and multiple chances to potentially kick field goals?
I mean, he doesn't really tell me. I mean, we're kind of hoping that we just score on it. So, I mean, I'm not really a use unless for PATs and kickoff. That's what we're hoping for.
Had your snapper, Micah's here, and we didn't mention the fact that he's a pretty good punt and place-kicking snapper. And Lucas Newport, he's been holding since he was a freshman. Talk about those two guys and how they snap and set up the hole for you on the field goal and place kick attempts.
So coming into Sky High, Lucas was great. Like from the start, Lucas has been absolutely great, perfect, the ball down every time. I mean, sometimes we'll have mistakes here and then, but other than that, it's most of all perfect. And then Micah's snaps are perfect. They're, right to us. Sometimes we'll have it over the head, but other than that, right to him.
It's not bad for a skinny baseball player, right?
No, I think it's the arm.
Sorry, Micah, I did it again.
And Houston, what we didn't talk about yet, I'm bringing it up right now, you're also the punter. Yep. And actually, you've been doing a really good job punting the ball. Very high kicks, getting them to spiral and turn over there like that. What's this season been for you as a junior, as the sole punter this season?
I mean, it's been a lot better than last year.
Do you guys, Justin was a punter also, do you guys work with each other in the kicking aspect?
Yeah.
Has he given you any advice on punting this year? Or?
Not really punting, more on kicking.
More on kicking?
Yeah.
Because probably you're going to pick up that chore again next season, right?
Yeah.
So you'll be dual purpose, the kicker and the punter next season.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But you've been doing a good job. Your average, I don't know, a few games ago was like 38.5 yards per punt or something. That is progressively better than last season. What have you done this season that's made you a better punter, to get the height on the ball and to get more distance out of it?
Not much, to be honest. I just got a leg.
You just worked hard to develop the leg strength. Is that the?
Yeah, we can say that. We can say that.
We can say that, or you can say that.
Next question.
Next question.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't want to go down that route. As you prepare this week, first of all, I want to say, and I'm not sure you guys are here when I talked about it earlier, I thought the defense played another outstanding game the other night. You have a big part as the defensive role on that. We mentioned linebackers, we mentioned the secondary, and we mentioned the line up front. Houston, you and Braxton Potter, I think, have had an outstanding season on the defensive ends. Was that a role that you were looking forward to playing this season?
Yeah, that was my main position.
Main position?
Yeah.
Do you and Braxton work with each other to, I don't want to say work with each other, but pump each other up to try to go more after the quarterback, go more after the ball off the edge?
A little bit, yeah.
Has it been tough on you to learn how to set the edge as the other team's running the ball your way?
Not really. My job's kind of easy. I make them go through the gaps to the linebackers.
Okay. So you guys are setting up the linebackers for all those tackles I talked about a while ago. Then, correct? Okay. Defensively, what did we do this week? We got a non-region game coming up, and I think we got to, A, get back on the winning side, but B, what do we have to do this week so the team, we feel that we can accomplish and get the win? What do you have to do, A, if you're going to be on the offensive line, or B, defensively?
For defense, we just have to tackle. That's about it. They just run it the whole time. Offense, we just got to play offense, just like we have all year.
Mm-hmm. Do you think you'll play a lot more in the offensive line this week?
I hope not.
You hope not? Coach Hall, I'm sure you're watching. He's sending you a very subtle message. Thanks for me asking that question there. But you'd like to go back to the tight end position and get a few reps there.
I wouldn't care to, yeah.
Yeah.
I mostly care about defense.
Defense?
Yeah.
It's a good defense this year. I think we've got a good line, linebackers and secondary. Let's get your take on the defense.
We're just a lot more physical. We know how to tackle this year. Last year we couldn't wrap up.
Michael was up here a while ago. Is he the most improved tackler on the defensive side of the ball?
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
He comes hard at him, does he not? And
yeah.
creates some turnovers, and that's important. Justin, what do you want to do the rest of the year? 8 field goals, bunch of kicks into the end zone for touchbacks?
What do you mean?
I didn't understand the question either.
Well, if you could say, hey, I want this opportunity in their final 2 games, what would you like to do? How many field goals would you like to kick? How many extra points? How many touchbacks would you like to kick? In a perfect world, and if you got the opportunity, what would you like to have?
Probably field goals.
Field goal?
Yeah.
And how many field goals over the final 2 games?
Like, I'd say 3, maybe 3 or 4.
Do you know what the record long field goal is for Scott High?
I think it's like 60, 61, like somewhere around there.
53 maybe?
Is it 53?
I think it's 53. Is that within your range?
Yeah.
So I need to lobby Coach Hall to let you try that, right?
Maybe down the season a little bit. Give me a game or 2.
We only got 2 more.
No, we got a bunch more.
Well, you got 3 more. Let's think positive on that. Yep. So, and a bunch more. I like that. Go ahead, you guys. You got any questions with him?
So I said I'm interested about the mental aspect of this. So Houston, who came to you and when did they come to you and say we want you to play guard?
It was Billy.
And was it Friday night before you went to practice, or was it when was it?
The week of it was this week Monday.
Monday. So he comes to you on Monday, and how'd he say it?
He just came up to me, just put his arm around me, and said, "Do you know what it is?" Nah, I already knew.
Because he knew you weren't going to like it.
Yeah.
But you agreed to do it.
Yeah.
Hey, let me tell you another story about this right here. Coach Hall wanted to wear red jerseys last Friday night, except there was one problem. Every red lineman numbered jersey that we had was
way too big.
Way too big for Houston.
So what was that like? You're getting ready to play a top 5 ranked team in the state, and now we want you to try a new position. Did that even flash in your mind, or did you just think I just got to go out and do it?
I thought it was just gonna be a 1 week thing. To be honest, I was just wanting to get it over with. I mean, I was wanting to win, but I just want to get that position over with.
Did it go about as good as you could have expected then?
Yeah.
Okay, Justin. And I'll preface this by I've got a couple of questions, but one, do you play NCAA football?
I used to, yeah.
You don't play this year's?
No.
Okay, because I was going to ask you what's harder, kicking on it or kicking in real life, because
kicking on it.
Yeah,
sure.
okay,
Kicking
I agree
on
with
it,
that.
no doubt.
So for a game-winning field goal, how do you approach that? What's going on in your mind? Do you want to be around people? Do you want somebody saying something to you, or do you want to? You get off to yourself, and what are you doing?
I try to get off to myself. I try to just stay alone and honestly just think about nothing. Just think about the ball and the field goal.
Okay.
Hey, I got a question I want to come back to Houston with right here. That delay, deciding if it was 3rd down or 4th down, we had things rolling. We were moving the ball well downfield. It seemed like Coach Hall was in rhythm calling his plays. Maybe it didn't affect the team at all. Did it affect the team, that long delay, having to figure out, hey, it's 3rd down, 4th down?
Yeah.
Did you get tired just standing around and waiting on an opportunity to get back on the field?
It's kind of good for me. I got a break.
You got it. Well, I guess it was good for you then.
It slowed the whole offense down. We play better going fast now.
Yeah, so it did have an impact, that long
I think
delay.
it did.
Okay, I just wanted to get that.
Tim talked about, how do you respond in situations like that? That was, I think I even said it at the time, it was kind of the ultimate ice the kicker situation, because you've already gone out to kick the field goal. Coach Hall takes the time out. Of course, as it turned out, he wasn't taking that to ice his own kicker, as they sometimes say on the national broadcast. He was taking that to argue successfully that it was just 3rd down, but you had to wait 15 minutes for play to resume.
Yeah, I know.
Then you still wind up going out to kick a field goal, 32-yard kick. And if you don't make that kick, no hope of you guys winning the game. You have to make the kick to stay in the game. What it was going through your mind at that point?
Nothing. As I said, I thought of the field goal post, and I just look at the ball when it's snapped. That is the only thing I'm thinking. I try to just clear my head, clear everything out of my head.
That's why he's a specialist.
Houston, you have been held a lot. I'm not going to talk anymore about offensive guard, because you don't want to talk about playing offensive line. Yep. Clearly, Rick wanted to keep bringing that up. 10 times the opposing team drops back to pass, and you're rushing the passer. On average, out of those 10 times, how often do you get held?
10.
Really, every time?
It's every time. Me and Braxton both.
How often has it been called?
I've only got 1 all season.
How frustrating is that?
I mean, it's frustrating. Because what can I do about it?
We've yelled at the officials a little bit, both on and off the air. Oh, well, I have. I won't say the same for Rick, because Rick is the cool and calm professional. I'm not very professional at all. But, yeah, you guys are getting held a lot. So, I mean, what would your numbers be like? What would your sack numbers be like if you weren't getting held on every single play?
I don't know, because we don't play like a lot of passing teams.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean,
but tackles for loss would be in play, definitely.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, and last question is going over here to Justin Lynch. Justin, every time that your name comes, I don't know if you watch the broadcast or not. I wouldn't blame you if you didn't. But every time your name comes up, Harris Keaton talks about you being a surfer boy. Now,
oh my gosh!
And we never know what's coming out of his mouth when he opens it. Okay.
Exactly.
Have you ever surfed in your life?
No.
I want to know where that's coming from.
I've skimboarded, but I've never surfed.
So where do you know where that's coming from?
I guess, I mean, I just go around practice, I mean, with my shirt off, my hair full. I don't know. I guess he thinks I look like one.
Only player on the team. Doesn't have to wear a helmet, doesn't have to wear shoulder pads for any practice.
Kind of got it made, didn't it, right?
That's great.
All right. So on behalf of First National Bank, now the Trophy Masters have your swag coming after the season, but we want to thank First National Bank. They give all of our players of the game hoodies and T-shirts. I'm showing off the wrong one because the hoodie's more impressive, but you get a T-shirt too. So thank you to First National Bank for that. Our First National Bank player of the game, Justin Lynch. Our Trophy Masters lineman of the game, Houston Stanley. One more break. When we come back, we're going to not the last break, but when we come back, we're going to talk to our One Bank of Tennessee scholar athletes. Welcome back to the Roundtable on the IH Sports Network alongside Tim Smith and Ray Keaton. I'm Ben Garrett, and we are joined now by our One Bank of Tennessee scholar athletes. Now, this week's scholar athlete from Oneida was cheerleader Lexi Gilreath, and unfortunately she was unable to be with us tonight due to a prior obligation. But we do have last week's Scholar Athlete, Wyatt Lloyd, and he has his GPA as a senior of 3.94. And this week's Scholar Athlete is Angelina Del Rio Carey. And I was afraid I was going to mess that up.
From
I
Sky
nailed
High.
it.
Yeah.
Well, obviously from Scott High. Yeah. And she's a junior. Now, Wyatt, I apologize because I don't have like a long bio for you, but it's, other than your GPA is 3.94, which is double what mine was in high school. So that's pretty impressive in and of itself. But I got to tell you that Angelina, Rick, is the first and only middle college student at Scott High through Roan State Community College, middle as a junior, I guess, or the first one overall. Do we know?
The first one overall.
Okay, so there you go. So middle college is a dual enrollment program, and you qualified because of classes that you had taken from your previous school, which I think was in Indiana? Illinois. Well, Midwest. I knew somewhere in the Midwest. All right, so you're taking music appreciation, college anatomy, physiology, and ACT prep, and taking classes at Roan State next semester as well, including Comp 1 as a junior. That's a pretty impressive resume.
Very much so.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not – your resume's good also.
So we're proud of you too, Wyatt.
We sure are, right? We just see Wyatt and have known him long there. Angelina, what's the study load like for you? We probably asked that the last time you were on here as a cheerleader representing the Highlander squad. But what's the study load really like for you? It sounds like you do nothing but go to cheer practice, you do nothing but cheer at games, and then it's all about books, studying after that.
Yeah, I think most of my homework mainly just comes from anatomy. That's mainly what it is. And studying for the lab, I feel like I have the hardest time with lab. The math homework isn't too extremely hard. And then Comp 1 is my first actual online class, and I've definitely had a harder time staying on top of that. But other than that, I have a lot of free periods throughout the week that I can work on homework, and that's normally when I do it.
Okay, so your emphasis is on the college work now more so than anything left in high school, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so who encouraged you? Has it been family members that's encouraged you, or do you just have this drive yourself to be this studious?
I've just always wanted to get started with my life as quick as possible, and so doing this kind of helps me get 2 years of college out of the way, and then I can just get 2 more done, get my BSN, and be a nurse.
That's impressive there. It certainly is. What? Does studying come easy for you? How hard is it for you to maintain the 3.94?
It's not too difficult. I'm in honors classes, and my junior year was rough with Jenny Hall. That one will about break you down, but
we understand this.
Make you question life on it.
Yeah. When you're stuck at home writing research papers on Saturday instead of watching football, yeah, it'll have you pretty upset. But other than that, I mean, it's not been too rough. I'll do homework every now and then if I don't get it done in class, with free time. But other than that, no, it's not something I've really had to like work really hard at. It just kind of came to me.
What's your major going to be? What is your best subjects?
I don't know if I have a best. My mom's an English teacher at Fairview, and so I've always been more towards that, almost like writing. I had good writing teachers when I was ELA teachers when I was growing up in Fairview. I feel like that's always been one of my biggest strengths when it comes to school. Not math at all, but probably English, ELA.
Future-wise, what happens after you graduate?
Right now, I actually was working with it today with the ARS Foundation at Sky High and Miss Summer Wilkins, our guidance counselor, on next semester at Jacksboro. I'm going to go to Jacksboro for my 3rd and 4th period, and I've enrolled in the TCAT up there to be an electrician. And then right out of high school, I'll still go to Jacksboro and just try to that's the road I'm wanting to go down, be an electrician.
To be in the trades.
Yeah.
It seems to be that there is of course, Tim is the TCAT guy, but there is a whole lot of interest now in high school students wanting to go into the trades. It's nothing against it, but you're going into the medical field, but it's not like getting an education to come back and be a teacher. It's the trades and the area that you can work in there.
Yes, sir.
Why the electrical?
Honestly, I just felt like it was either that or plumbing, and I mean, plumbing's
pretty cool too. If the money, I mean, it's good money, so I can't really have no complaints about it. I'm a guy from my church, Joe Ben Terry. I've always been kind of close with him and his family.
Mm-hmm.
His brother's my brother-in-law. I grew up around him. He's a great guy to be around. I kind of got to talking to him about it for a little bit, and had me thinking about it. And then recently, probably earlier this year, I had my mindset on it. This is what I'm wanting to do for now, at least. I'm pretty sure.
Pretty clear choice right now.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
My nursing, Angelina.
So my mom and my grandma were both nurses, and for a while, math has always been my best subject. So I wanted to be a math teacher, but I kind of started turning more towards nursing. Honestly, once I started anatomy and had the chance to do middle college, and I looked more into colleges and just the nursing programs and everything, I preferred the route of nursing more than math.
What nursing specialty do you want to do? Is it going to be just working in a doctor's office, hospital, or is it going to be more than that?
Perioperative. So the person that people see before they go into surgery, I want it to be like the happy face that they see, kind of the encouragement, be able to pray with them before they go on, and just be the encouragement before they go into surgery, be able to take care of them before and after.
From practical experience, that's very important. I really want to say that. This is your first year at Scott High, correct? How's the adjustment been? Coming from Illinois, way up there where it snows a lot more.
I think the main difference was adjusting to the 4 classes a semester, because I was used to 8 classes, and my old school actually did it different than any school I've ever heard or seen of before, and so I guess just adjusting to that was different. But I also kind of like having the 4 classes because it's like less homework, I guess.
Extra time to study and everything. I understand that. Can you imagine taking 8 classes at a time?
Oh, no, I wouldn't want to do that. Not at all.
We wouldn't either.
Yeah.
It was 6 back in my day. It's probably only 3 when you guys went to school, but that. But
6 or 7.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I find it interesting how you want the field that you want to go into in sort of that pre-surgery field. I don't know that I know anybody that specifically has ever chosen that at this stage in their life. So I really commend you about that. Of course, Wyatt is a basketball, football player. You're a cheerleader. Did you cheer or dance in Illinois?
Yes, I've done cheer and gymnastics basically since I was 5, and then cheer and track since 6th grade.
Cheer or gymnastics, if you had to do just one of those, which would you follow?
So I actually quit gymnastics when I was 10, so I could do cheer, and that is a regret I had. But I also like the fact that I can cheer for school, because gymnastics is more of an independent kind of sport. So I feel like cheer gave me more of the team bonding kind of experience, and then track is my individual sport.
Okay, very interesting to see. I think 2 young people who know what they want to do, not just after this year, but for the next 5, 10, and the rest of their lives maybe.
Yep. So I'm going to start with Wyatt. So I taught middle school. You said your mother was a middle school English teacher. That's what I taught. Now, I was out of it by the time my sons came through, but I always wondered what that was going to be like. Were you ever a student in your mother's class?
No, actually, I'm very thankful for that. She was a middle school teacher. She taught 6th, 7th, and 8th grade ELA. And my 5th grade year, she moved down to, I think, 4th and 5th grade English ELA. And so I went up to 6th grade, and she went down to 4th and 5th, and I missed her. But she wanted to have me, and it would have been rough probably because I wasn't. She would have definitely been on me pretty hard. She's probably one of the main reasons my GPA is how it is. She's always on top of me about stuff like that. It's important to her, so I tried my best to make her happy, and at the end of the day, she's happy, so it's whatever.
So you had a narrow escape.
Yeah,
yep.
Thank God.
So that happened. So now here's the other question I would say, and again, I was gone by the time my kids were in the middle school age, but you were close. You had friends probably that had your mother in class. So now, what was that like? Were they like, man, why you're Come on now.
Yeah, some of them. She's a very strict teacher, and if you talk to her outside of school, you wouldn't think so. She's very nice. She's easily approachable. She'll talk to you forever if you let her, and she's just an easy person to get along with. But when you're in her classroom, you're going to do what she wants, and she's going to teach you hard. And if she doesn't like what you've gave her, then I guess you won't see a happy side of her. So.
All right. So now you're going to electrical class. There's many avenues outside of that class. You could be an electrician, LLE. You can go around and wire people's houses. You could go to work for the union, which is a pretty good paying job. You could go to work for some of the Oak Ridge labs and things over there. Do you know which direction you want to go when you're done with that?
I'm not sure yet. That's what I really got to decide. I would like a lot of people I've talked to that like go off on your own, but I would also like to get in on some of those Oak Ridge labs, and benefits are good there.
Mm-hmm.
Jobin, the person I was talking to, he does both. He works over at Y12, and then at the same time, he was with Terry Stevens, Amanda Stevens' husband, before he passed, and they kind of went into it together, and he was kind of job shadowing him, and then after he passed, he's kind of took it over, so he's doing both at the same time, and I think I'm going to go help him. I've talked to him about it after high school when I get free time, kind of go learn the ropes from him, as well as going to TCAT and studying and learning there too. And I don't know what road he's choosing yet, because he's not really he's kind of just doing them both, a lot of work at once. But he says that both ways are good, and both ways you can make a living out of. So it's a hard decision, but just pray about it and see what God leads me to do.
No doubt. And the only thing I would throw in is you get in one of those unions, get 20 years there, and then do the wiring of houses and all that stuff. Draw both of those. That'd be a big deal. You're gonna not be disappointed
yes, sir,
in your
hopefully.
choice. I don't think, Wyatt. Now, Angelina, I have a sister that's a nurse. So, and you said that she was a nurse at Thompson Cancer Center. So, and you said you had other nurses in your family that caused you to get into it. What watching them, what did you admire that you thought that's what I want to do for sure?
I feel like I never got to watch my grandma do it much. I know that she was a prison nurse when I was younger, but I don't know much about it. My mom, she's worked in the ER. She was an Army nurse, and right now she works at the Wartburg prison. And I think just coming back with all the stories and everything, and just all the angry people that she has to deal with, I guess I just admire her patience to be able to deal with those kind of people who sometimes don't even want to be helped. And just I've always wanted to just be the person that they see beforehand, maybe to hopefully be an inspiration beforehand and just be able to help them just a little bit.
I think people would say to my sister, how can you deal with that, because most of your patients that come in, they don't make it. And I've always admired what she did, because I thought that would make a lot of people not willing to do it. So what a great thing that she is willing to be there for them. And when you described that you wanted to be the person that tried to lift someone up before they went into surgery, I mean, did you come up with that on your own? How was that laid on your heart, do you think?
I was kind of interested into nursing because my mom was talking about it. But as I was going down the things, I was like, I feel like that would just be a really heavy-hearted place, because I've been into hospitals many times, and every time I walk in, it just kind of it's drowsy. And so sometimes there's just that one nurse that you see. When I think of a happy nurse, I think of a nurse with cookies, or when I broke my arm, a nurse gave me popsicles, and that was the nurse that I saw before and after my surgery. And she was just there for me, giving me popsicles and just helping me with my pain and everything.
Last thing I'll say, something I know about middle college, there's a reason not many people do it. And that is because of the intense workload that comes with it. So when you do allow yourself to do something, is there something that is an enjoyment? I mean, you obviously probably enjoy studies and you enjoy education. Is there something outside of education, when you do have that time away from the books or whatever, what is the thing that you're going to be doing that is a fun leisure time activity that doesn't have anything to do with education?
I guess just hanging out with my friends. I like to go for runs. Otherwise, I play the piano. Other than that, I don't really do much else.
Not much else. Well,
yeah.
That's I believe you're doing quite a bit. And so I think anybody that's heading into surgery one day and you're the nurse that's there with them, I think they're very fortunate. And I enjoy these segments. It's really uplifting to hear about the future goals and plans. These guys, we're in good hands.
Yeah, but I want to before you guys leave, I want to steer away from academics a little bit because that's boring, and back into sports. So, Angelina, I'm not sure I was here the last time that you were on, but I do know that, and you mentioned it, that you run track, but you don't just run track. You're a pretty good track athlete, I understand. So, what events?
I'm a hurdler. I do 100-meter hurdles and 300-meter hurdles. I did long jump my freshman year, and I almost did it my sophomore year. Then I stopped it, but I kind of just like mid-distance running.
Okay, and you were here for last track season. Is that correct? Or
Yes.
am I wrong? All right, so you knew Riley Lance. She was a senior
Yes.
last year. She was really good both in the 100 and 300-meter hurdles, had quite a few wins under her belt. She's gone now. She's graduated. So what do you think? You ready to pick up that slack?
I would like to. She was actually a very big inspiration to me, especially because she actually hurt her foot towards the end of the season last year, and she still went to every single practice and watched, and she just did what she could. So Riley was actually a really big inspiration to me.
So what brought you from Illinois to Tennessee?
We bought property.
Okay. Do we talk funny down here? Does Wyatt talk funny?
I thought everyone talked funny when I first got here.
Most of us do.
Yeah, sometimes it still catches me off guard, but I've adapted.
Do they think you talk funny?
People mocked me a little bit, jokingly. I wasn't getting bullied, but they would joke with me about just words I would say differently.
And Wyatt you're not from Illinois. You're born and raised Scott County. So I'm not sure how, now that we're 8 weeks into the season, that we've finally gotten you on the round table with as prolific a season as you have had at wide receiver. We had Ava Claire on, but we're just now getting you on. So this has been a burning curiosity thing for me, and so I'm finally getting a chance to get you on here and ask you. So, and this is not even football related. This is basketball related. And we brought this up while you were in the audience one week, and that is you talked your entire team into bleaching their hair because you were going to do it with them.
I was, yeah.
And then you bailed, and you didn't do it. So I want to know the story.
Crap. We were lifeguarding at the pool, me, Jake, and Isaiah. And I had recently got a buzz cut that summer. And Jagan got one with me the summer of our junior year the summer of our sophomore year going into our junior year. And we just started talking about it again, like, let's just do it again. Come on, do it. And then Jagan was the one that was like, we could bleach and buzz. And because it had become a thing, I guess baseball teams winning rings and stuff and championships, and they would do it as a full team. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it with you. And then from then we got on the phone with Amanda Maley, Sawyer Barnes' mom. Sawyer had Bentley Ellis to do it. I think it was only those three. And I was going to do it. We planned. I texted my aunt, Christy Russ. Texted her on Facebook to keep it low key and hey, go buy the supplies and we'll get it done, because I knew if I told my dad that it wouldn't work. Well, Christy texted my dad, or maybe it was my mom.
She ratted you out.
Yeah, she ratted me out. I would have done it. Trust me. I promise. I don't care about how I look that much. Okay, but Dad would not let me. He said if I did, he would shave me bald.
No need to bleach when you're bald, right?
Oh yeah, no, there ain't no hair to be colored. So
all right, so still some football to go. Matter of fact, I hope you have to miss the first of basketball season personally. But real quick, expectations for basketball.
I think we have a really good experienced team on our hands. 7 or 8 seniors this year, maybe. I'm pretty sure. And speaking for myself, I don't know how great I will be coming back. I've actually kind of lacked in, putting in the work in the gym and shooting. I need to get that back under control, go shoot some shots, trying to kind of get my touch and my rhythm back. But as far as the team, I've heard people say a lot of good things about Isaiah and Goody. And Logan Phillips has grown a lot, apparently, what people have been saying. They're really adapting to Brent's coaching methods, and I think with Brent, we all really love Brent. He's a great guy to be around. I've talked to Brent. I've grown close to him in the matter of time that I even spent with him in the summer. I really like the way he plays. He's a very smart coach, understands concept of high school, just boys basketball, just as a whole. He's a very smart, just like the guy, Anderson County's Jordan Jeffers. I'll brag on him too. He's a very smart coach. This is just like him. They coach together. I think we needed a lot of that, and I think we got a perfect coach, and I think we got a perfect team to go make a good run this year and do something special. And I'll be highly disappointed in myself and my teammates if we don't do that. Honestly, it'll be pretty rough if all this works just for nothing, So.
All right, so that's Wyatt Lloyd, Scott High senior, and his 3.94 GPA, and Angelina Del Rio Carey, and first ever middle college student at Scott High School. Pretty impressive. And Lexi Gilreath from Oneida, senior cheerleader, was also a scholar athlete, unable to be with us tonight. Thank you guys for joining us. We're going to take one last break. When we come back, we'll wrap it up with our cheerleader segment and pick the winners of this week's games. Welcome back to the Roundtable on the IH Sports Network. We're live tonight from the C. Michael Lay Technology Center in Hellenwood. This is our final segment, and as always, we end things by turning to cheerleaders and giving some cheerleaders their time in front of the camera. And we're joined by Oneida junior Briley Rector and Scott High sophomore Chelsea Beatty. Chelsea or Chelsea?
Chelsea.
Chelsea, but it's spelled Chelsea. Yeah, okay. So, all right, so Tim Smith, we have talked to a lot of pageant contestants this year. I made the comment last week that it feels like every athlete, at least every girl who's an athlete in Scott County, has been in pageants because we talked to so many of them. But we have the pageant contestant here tonight because we've got the Miss Scott County Fairest to the Fair in Briley Rector. Briley, there was a lot of excitement. Now, obviously, anybody that wins at that level is excited. Mm-hmm. But there was genuine excitement. That was something you really wanted, that title, and you got it. So before we even talk about cheerleading, talk about that moment.
I really don't know how to explain it. I was backstage, and they said my name like 8 times before I realized they were actually talking to me. So they were yelling at me to go out there, and I was like, what are we talking about? Like, I don't know what's going on. And so when it finally hit that it was actually me, it didn't feel real, and it didn't feel like it actually happened. So I was genuinely shocked.
So now you have a new role in addition to everything else that you're involved in. You are the kind of the ambassador for Scott County for the next 12 months. How is that going so far?
I've loved it. I've loved every minute of it. It's definitely going to be hard to balance everything, but obviously my mom's a lot of help in all of it, and Gracie Marlowe has been a ton of help throughout all of it. And I have a good group that I'm with. The other winners are absolutely amazing too, so I've been very lucky in that.
Okay, so we talked about Briley's claim to fame. Now, Chelsea's claim to fame is she is, Tim, the daughter of the best trumpet player in Scott County. Did you know that?
Yes.
Did you know that?
I did know that, up close.
Did you know Tim Smith played trumpet?
No.
No. Did you watch the Scott County Auction Telethon maybe 2 years ago when Tim
I think the
and your
answer's going to
dad
be no.
played together? No?
Or she would.
Maybe, I don't know.
I think she was.
So it didn't leave an
I
impression
think you might
on
have
you.
been there.
I probably was. I don't know.
I think you were there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So, your first year cheer. Last year you were a water girl on the sideline for the football team. I know. But, and this year as a sophomore, you abandoned Audrey Harness, your good friend. She's still down there. Now you're cheering. So what made you decide to get into cheering?
Well, I danced my whole life, and then in 6th grade I decided to try it, and then went all the way to 8th grade, and then freshman year I didn't make it, so I was water girl, and here I am.
So I didn't realize that. So you tried out and didn't get it, and you tried again. So,
Yes.
I mean, that takes courage
Yeah.
to try again. I like that. Okay, so you danced. Did you dance with Briley?
Yes.
Yeah, so both of you danced at Got a Dance Studio. So, Briley, you've been on here. You were on here last year, of course, as a cheerleader. Maybe
And
the last
this
2
year.
years.
Mhm.
And this year?
Yeah.
Well, now,
she
tonight.
Was. Well, no, she was on before, right?
No.
Not this
Oh,
year,
were you
no.
not? Was that last year?
Tim, that was last year.
Kidding.
Okay, so Chelsea was she was cheerleader in middle school. You were cheerleader in middle school too. You were
I
not
was
cheerleader in
not,
middle school. Okay,
no.
well, nonetheless, your mother was a basketball player. Your
She
aunts
was.
were basketball players. How did you get into cheerleading?
You know, I never really had any interest in basketball or anything else. They tried. They could not do it. I had no interest in it. But I did cheer camp when I was little, and then my mom put me in dance when I was 4, and I loved every minute of that. So that's it was more my thing, and I just wasn't into anything else.
So your grandpa, what I don't know what you call him, but Brett Bond is the chief deputy of Scott County Sheriff's Department, and he coached your mom and your aunts in junior pro. He coached your brother in junior pro. I'm sure he's probably coaching your cousin now in junior pro. Am I right?
No, his mom, Alex, is, and Cody is.
Okay. But was he the least bit heartbroken that you, just a little bit, that you chose cheerleading over basketball?
You know, I couldn't really tell you that. He's still very supportive in what I did choose, and he's never shown me any disappointment, so I think not, but I could be wrong.
You're shaking your head.
I think
Tim.
there's no chance.
No chance.
No. I mean, Bradley's been a dancer, you know. If you have Facebook, you know that. If you're friends. That's our thing. And the reason I want to explain for myself why I thought you had been on earlier this year, I do see Briley most weeks. We pass it in the hall, and we had the discussion. One of the other contestants was on, and she said, hey, she gave you my title because I answered a question right one week, and she said, oh, you could be Miss Scott County now, and Briley was upset with me.
Yeah, she gave away my title.
Right,
so.
that was not hers to give, nor mine to earn. So, and we would have been in bad shape had I earned that.
I'm glad it worked out the way it did. Yeah,
exactly. I just wanted to say that's why I thought, for some reason in my mind, that she had been on there before this year.
So, what pressing questions do you have for these two?
Okay, I'm going to start with Chelsea. Okay, and so, Water Girl. Why did you choose Water Girl? How did that come about when you were doing that?
Billy just came up to me and said, I need a water girl. So he told me to go find a friend, and then just got waters thrown at me, all season. But, they got water.
They got water.
So now, and Ben asked you about playing a trumpet and things like that. Did you ever do anything musically growing up?
I did piano.
Okay. Did you like that?
No.
Yeah.
I was forced.
Oh.
Don't tell Dad I told you that, though.
Same thing happened to me.
She didn't tell us that, John.
Wait a minute. Who forced you, Daddy or Mommy?
John. Dad.
John.
Yeah. So the piano didn't go, and then so you moved on to something else. So you knew at an early age. How old were you when you tried to
play piano?
Or decided this is not for me?
I was like 9 or 10.
Yeah.
I went home crying every day because of it, but I got my way eventually.
Does that seem to work pretty well?
Not really.
Okay. All right. So now, as a cheerleader, what has been the toughest part in the first year of being a cheerleader?
Probably the summer camps.
Yeah.
They lasted all day long.
And
I got tired.
I asked this question a lot. Was there a particular cheerleader that had been there that welcomed you in, that made you feel welcome on the squad, that's been a good friend for you?
Definitely Amy Sturgill. She makes sure I know everything, even whenever, I probably do. I just don't overthink everything.
So are you for sure going to stick with cheerleading as long as you can, or are you ready to try something else because you're trying different things?
I'm sticking with cheer.
Sticking with cheer?
Yes.
What's been your favorite part of a Friday night?
Definitely the stunts and when everybody gets excited with us.
Okay.
And when we win, but.
Okay. Briley, so you didn't cheer middle school, but you decided to in high school. What brought about that choice?
I really don't know. We had talked about it, and my mom told me that if I was going to do it, I needed to do it my freshman year because my brother was a senior. And so she said, I'm not going to the games if you don't do it your freshman year. So that's kind of how it came about. And then I kind of just stuck with it. So that's.
So what has been what's been the best part of that decision, do you feel like?
I've known most of the girls I've cheered with my entire life, but I wasn't really close with them. But through cheer, I've gained some of my best friends now that I'm with all the time.
Okay, and talking about the win as Miss Scott County, I mean, Cameron kind of set the bar high. She did a lot of things, right? She got into a lot of community projects and things. Have you had time to think about what you would like to do to kind of leave your legacy in that spot?
A little bit. We're working on some stuff right now that I'm not going to say too much about just because it's still in the works and we still don't really know exactly what we're doing with it, but I'm very excited about it.
Do you have a timeline when you think it'll be revealed if it works out?
Hopefully soon. I don't really have an exact timeline, but hopefully it'll come out soon.
Okay. Well, and I know that when Cameron decided what she was going to do, we had her back on. And so I would extend that invitation. We'll be doing roundtables. And so when you're ready to make that announcement, this would be a good place to do it, I think.
Okay.
Yep. So, and Chelsea, so tell me this. they've just kind of given you a brief description of your dad and I. We went to school together. We were in band together. So, is he a funny guy around the house? Does he tell good jokes? Do you laugh at what he says? No,
Not really.
No, not really. Okay. What's his best quality as a dad? I mean, I know that's a tough question. He's got a lot of good ones. So first, let me say, I was younger than John when we were in school, but he was like the cheerleader you mentioned that welcomed you in and was good to you. He was good to me in the band, and so I'll never forget that because it can be hard going into a new organization like that. So he was always good to me. So I think you should brag on your dad. And your mom as well. I've known them both for a while. So what are the two things that you feel like each one of them does the best as far as for you?
Mom always shows up to like everything, even if like whenever I did soccer in middle school, she went even though I was on the bench every day, every game. She was there. Maybe on Facebook, but she was there. She's just always there and stuff. And Dad, he's definitely tougher, but he's like,
he's doing it for a good reason.
Yes, like he's tough, and then whenever he doesn't need to be, he's loving.
Yeah, he was always good to me in those situations. So I appreciate that. I just wanted to have something good said about John Beatty because I don't do that very often.
Who would say anything bad about John Beatty?
I can't imagine anybody would.
I can't imagine that either because he's a friend of mine. So therefore, I didn't ask the question that Tim just asked. John, thank you very much. If I recall, on the cheer team this year, Chelsea, there's only one senior?
Yes.
What does a senior cheerleader do in terms of leadership for the whole group?
She's definitely our biggest role model. Like, she's so, like, I don't even know how to explain her. She's just amazing. She never makes us feel judged or anything. Like, you'd think one would, but she doesn't put herself in front of us. Like, she doesn't make herself better or anything.
Will there be a lot of, assuming everybody comes back to cheer, will there be a lot of juniors next year? Because you'll step up, you'll be a junior, so those juniors will be seniors. Will there be a lot of potential seniors next year on the cheer team?
Hopefully. I know a few that are trying out that have never done cheer, though. So.
Okay. So this is your first cheer opportunity at the high school level.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm assuming you're going to cheer for basketball.
Yes.
Do you know or have an idea which one you like best? You got more room outside for the football as opposed to being crammed in a little bit for basketball. Do you have an idea which you think you'll like the most?
I definitely like football more because they're not, like, in your face. But whenever it's basketball, you got to, like, watch out or they'll come flying at you.
That's true. Do you do any of the tumbling routines?
No.
Okay. Well, it's always interesting. Will you be working on that for the next couple of years, trying to get where you can tumble?
I'm trying to get it back, but I don't know. I didn't back in the day.
That's a good question. Do you do any of the...
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit? Come easy to you in trying to do tumbles and routines that way?
I've done it since I was little, but there's definitely some things that have not come easy to me, but what I have now has.
I want to get away from cheerleading and athletics a little bit. Have you thought much about, Briley, what the future's going to hold for you, what you want to do college-wise, and what field that you might want to enter into workforce later on?
Yeah, I do plan on doing cosmetology. I'm dual enrolled right now, but there's definitely some other things I want to do. I've thought about something in dance. Not quite sure where I want to go with that, but I do want to continue dancing.
And I know it's a big stretch, still a couple, 2.5 years for you, Chelsea, but have you thought about post-high school, what you want to do?
I want to be a cosmetologist, too.
You guys know each other all the time, don't you? I mean, so, of course, you're, Misty's mom was a cosmetologist. Does that have anything to play into how you want to do it? It did?
I definitely want to fill in her shoes a little bit.
Okay. Well, very good. I always like to talk with our scholars and our cheerleaders, see what the future is going to be. So I think y'all have picked a couple of good subjects. It's an area that's, even though you won't work on somebody like me, it's an area that you'll always have a large clientele for.
So Briley is dual enrolled at TCAT. She just said, "Are you going to take that route as well? Dual enrolled at TCAT, get a leg up on your cosmetology career while you're still a junior in high school. It's a great opportunity."
I'm pretty
sure.
I
did that, Tim.
Good job. You can stay.
All right. So what we're going to do now, You know, because you're old hat at this. You may not know. We're going to pick the winners of this week's games. You do know. Okay. So, do you watch a lot of high school football? Other than Scott High, of course. Not really. Do you watch a lot of high school football? No? Okay. Well, this should be fun then. Okay. So, we'll start with Oneida's region. All right. So, Oneida this week. What a big game, Tim Smith. Oneida hosting Polk County. This is now, you don't watch a lot of high school football, but you know this is a huge game this week.
I do.
All right, Oneida and Polk County both 4-4. This is, Tim, if we talk about playoff scenario, Oneida still controls their destiny. Nothing really changes, though. Nothing hinges on this loss, except for they stay in the running for a region championship if they win. If they win, they don't wrap up a home playoff game. If they lose, they don't lose out on a home playoff game necessarily. That comes next week against Eagleton. For Polk County, though, they've got an opportunity. If they win, they wrap up not only a home playoff game but also the region championship. And nobody saw that coming. So there's a lot riding on this game for both teams.
Polk County fell into a scheduling issue where they played 7 games and the last 3 games are their region games. So that's a good spot to be. They'll be in that next year too. But they've got to come to Oneida. So I know the Indians are in the crowd are going to hope to make it a miserable place for Polk County to try to play football Friday night.
So, Briley, we're not going to ask you to pick a winner of this game because you're going to pick Oneida.
Yeah.
But what we are going to ask you is, what does Oneida have to do to beat Polk County on Friday night?
I don't know how to answer that question, so I'm going to say score.
There you go.
Well, that's always a good fault.
Always work.
All right. So what Tim mentioned the crowd. Got to have a big crowd on Friday night. Got to have a loud crowd on Friday night. What is your role in that? You and the rest of the cheerleading squad.
Our main thing is just to try to get everyone involved and try to get them cheering on our team.
Okay. So we don't ask her to pick if her team's going to win, but I am going to ask you, who do you think is going to win on Friday, Oneida or Polk County?
Oneida.
You think Oneida? All right. Should be a great game on Friday. Tim, what does Oneida have to do to beat Polk County?
I think if you get a couple of scores ahead, strike quick. Polk County's not really built to come from behind, and I think that's going to be the key. I think they need to jump on them.
All right.
The longer they hang around, the more trouble you're in.
Eagleton stepping outside the region this week. They go to South Green. 2 really good teams playing up there. Eagleton, of course, upset by Polk County last week. They're 6-2. South Green also got beat last week in what was probably a little bit of an upset. They're also 6-2. So, Briley, what do you think, Eagleton or South Green?
I'll go with Eagleton.
You're going to go with Eagleton, Tim?
I'm going to agree. I think Eagleton got woke up by Polk County. I think they maybe were believing their press a little bit, and they're gonna respond this week with a big win.
How about it?
Eagleton.
You're gonna go Eagleton because these guys picked Eagleton, right?
No, I just feel like they're good. I don't
know.
They have a fancy name. I don't.
No fancy name. Well, some people look at colors, look at the fancy.
They're
name,
the Royals.
Whatever look.
How fancy can you be?
Rick, Eagleton or South Green?
I think Eagleton rebounds.
Okay, so I would be the lone dissenter there. I'm going to say South Green because South Green's a really good football team. It's at South Green. And strange things tend to happen at South Green sometimes in those close games.
Should have paid closer attention.
Yeah. All right, Smith County at Tellico Plains. Now, Tellico Plains was everybody's pick coming into the season, Briley, to win Oneida's region. They've struggled. They're in 4th place coming into this game. Smith County, this is a non-region game. Of course, Smith County's a pretty good football team coming off 27-13 win over Moore County. Who are you going to pick?
Can you say those teams again?
Smith County and Tellico Plains.
Smith County.
You're taking Smith County on the road, Tim?
I think so. I've been hearing Tellico Plains quarterback has been playing less and less. So, yep, Smith County.
Tim, you're not Tim. Rick?
No, I'm not. I have no idea. I'll take Smith County because Tim said so.
Smith County.
All right. I'm going to make it unanimous because I'm going to pick Smith County, too. Smith County's a good football team. Okay, so those are all the games in Oneida's region. Scott High plays host to Wartburg. It's senior night. A whole bunch of seniors that Scott High is saying goodbye to on Friday night. Wartburg comes in at 2-6. Scott High is 5-3. Wartburg lost 55-0 last week to Coalfield. Same drill as when Briley was being asked. I'm not going to ask you to pick a winner, but I am going to ask you, what does Scott High have to do to beat Wartburg? But she's already said score more points. She's already used that answer, so you can't use that answer. What does Scott High have to do to beat Wartburg other than score more points?
During home games, they usually come out strong, but if during halftime they just get their heads in it again and come back strong again, then we should have it.
Okay.
Just stay strong the whole time.
Okay, I like that. Rick, what does Scott High have to do to beat Wartburg?
Control the line of scrimmage. I think it's very possible that we could pitch a shutout, and I think that would be such a huge compliment to the Highlander defense and the entire coaching staff to be able to do that.
Briley, I'm asking you for a winner, Scott High or Wartburg?
Scott High.
Agreed.
Yeah, Scott High will name their score on Friday night, and I'm sorry to the folks from Wartburg because I know there's some folks watching, but yeah, this game really
That's
honestly
why I
shouldn't be
said
close.
just shut out the other team.
Yeah. All right, Austin East at Meigs County. Meigs County is 7-1, Chelsea. They are coming off that win last week over Scott High. It was a good close game, but Meigs County is really good, ranked number 4 in the state. Austin East has struggled a little bit. Who you got, Austin East or Meigs County?
Meigs County.
Rick?
Meigs County.
Riley?
Meigs County.
Tim?
Meigs County got their wake-up call last week, I think, and I think Austin East will pay.
Yeah, I think Meigs County big in that one. All right.
I don't think big, but I mean 28-0.
Running clock.
Yeah, running clock. They
Yeah.
just.
All right. Biggest game of the week as far as we're concerned. McMinn Central is at Sweetwater. Both of these teams are 5-3. You saw Sweetwater last week. How did you like that drive down?
I don't really remember it. I slept the entire way.
Okay. You got to make that drive next week to Sweetwater. Are you looking forward to that?
Not really.
Me neither.
Before we pick this, can you tell me the implication who you want as a Highlander fan to win this?
You got to have McMinn Central to win this game. If Sweetwater wins, it does not mathematically eliminate Scott High from the playoff picture, but it makes it awfully difficult. You're then left rooting for Austin.
And
Austin East has to,
Where's the game?
The game is at Sweetwater. So, with that said, a lot riding on this game. Who are you taking?
Can you name them again?
McMinn Central at Sweetwater.
Sweetwater.
Rick?
McMinn. Not just because we need him to win. I think McMinn will. They've got a good passing attack, good receivers. I think McMinn will just. They know they got to win because they're fighting for that 1 seed, 2 seed there themselves. So.
How about it, Briley? McMinn Central at Sweetwater. You didn't remember who was playing, did you? Be honest.
No.
Okay, McMinn Central or Sweetwater?
McMinn.
I don't see how it couldn't be McMinn. Probably. I mean, I just feel like it's not no knock against Sweetwater. McMinn's just played well.
It's because I don't want to leave Chelsea out on the limb by herself. I'm going to take Sweetwater, but I hope, obviously, McMinn wins this game.
I don't understand football, so.
Well, at least you're honest. All right, last game. Kingston is playing at Rockwood. Big rivalry game down in Rome County. Kingston has not played in a couple of weeks. Their last time out was against Scott High. They won that game 28-3. Rockwood coming off a 35-0 win over Cumberland County. You've seen Rockwood this year. 2 pretty good football teams. Kingston is 5-2. Rockwood is 5-3. It's being played at Rockwood. I don't know if that matters. They're very close together. Who are you taking?
Rockwood? I don't. Yeah.
You said that with a question mark.
Rockwood.
I needed you to back up and say it again with a period.
What was my other option?
Kingston.
Rockwood.
Okay, better. Rick?
One of the oldest football rivalries in the state of Tennessee. They probably played each other 70 or 80 times in their history. I go with Kingston. I just don't ask me why. I just go with Kingston.
Kingston.
I want to go with my heart, which is Rockwood, but I think it's going to be Kingston.
Yeah, Kingston. They're a very good defensive football team, so I'm going to take Kingston as well. All right, so game time Friday night. Oneida and Polk County will be at 7:30. It's senior night. Scott High and Wartburg will be at 7:30. It's also senior night there. Before we sign off, I want both of you to tell everybody at home why they need to get out to the games this week and bid these seniors farewell. Briley, we're starting with you.
Let's come support all of our seniors in maybe their last home game and just show them love.
All right.
The louder the stadium is, the better the boys get, and they get hype. So just support them for senior night. It's going to win.
All right, good deal. So, Briley Rector, she's a junior. Chelsea Beatty, she's a sophomore. Thank you for joining us. We're going to sign off by saying thank you to Greg Bond behind the scenes, to Leetta Boyd, who as always is our bouncer, for Tim Smith and Rick Keaton. I'm Ben Garrett. Friday night, we'll see you with the Rogers Group pregame show beginning at 6:30 on the IH Sports Network. Good night.